Okay, so I don't have a picture of his next turn. Wasn't all that exciting, did very little. His Mortis Engine didn't have space to charge my Demonettes, which was very thankful. Basically, he got through a nice big spell, and the Corpse Cart was an absolute nuisance with it. Gives ASF to everything around, and he managed to completely heal up the Mortis Engine with one invocation. He got the Corpse Cart back up to 3 out of its 4 wounds. The magic was just not fun. The good news is, even with the extra dogs, the Demonettes managed to finally kill the dogs and reform, which was fantastic. Left me with a lot of options there. So in my turn, I'd charge in the Flamers into the side of the Mortis Engine, which really, I didn't realize how dangerous that thing is. I would have targeted it earlier otherwise. So anyway, I charged them into the side there. My Screamers are just being annoying and whittling down a couple of zombies. It's not doing a whole heck of a lot, but it's still kind of useful. The Fleshhounds, as you can see, are whittling away the zombies, but really, after one invocation, there's so many more to whittle down. You actually just start sighing. And the good news is the Demonettes managed to, after killing the dogs and reforming, were now able to charge that big skeleton block in the flank. This is fantastic, because we know for a fact that those Furies are dead. They have no chance in hell. They will shuffle off this mortal coil. The Demonettes, on the other hand, because they've got that Banner of Ecstasy, don't really care how much they lose combat by. They're going to lose combat, they're not going to give a damn, and they're going to hold him up for another turn. So during his turn, once again, he's locked in place. And I mean, this is the sort of thing this army is doing so well. It just locks everything down. So this combat, or the combats over here, went very nicely. The dogs couldn't finish off the zombies because, well, you know, that would be what Cornate Hounds do, but no, they don't. The Vamp Lord once again swings his mighty sword, and once again doesn't even need to bother with, you know, irritating things like the extra attacks he gets of Red Fury, because with 7 attacks and forcing me to reroll, he's just murdering everything near him. But he is tied up by the Demonettes, and that is beyond valuable. The fantastic news is that I managed to get Wissen's Wild Form off on the Flamers, which was enough to tip that combat and have them destroy the Mortis Engine. That was, oh, God's end. My Flamers on the right, because everything's so close, unfortunately, couldn't really get much of a bead on anything. Because the skeletons I would love to shoot, but they're in combat, and I basically just wanted them to come around and try be useful, you know, just for a little bit. But anyway, so that's them, and so far this is actually looking quite manageable, with the one exception of that Vamp Lord who, if he hits any unit, that unit will disintegrate. I don't have the troops to survive him. Okay, let's move on. So we take a quick look at his turn 3. The zombies are being ground to dust. He's knocking down a couple of dogs, which is quite impressive and a little annoying. The Furies have died, the Demonettes have held, Mortis Engine is down, and that single Necromancer with his zombie units is starting to look very, very sheepish. It's around this time I'm starting to think that, okay, a Spellbreaker is about right now. I need to shut him down and finish him off. I'm quite happy right now. I have him completely surrounded, although what I have surrounded is still more than a little bit dangerous. Quite manageable though. Okay, my apologies for this photo. It really sucks, but I didn't want to delete it because it actually shows a very, very important little maneuver. Once again, this is why I like interference troops. So his turn, the Vamp Lord went off to the side, he butchered the Demonettes. Once again, he still hasn't bothered using Red Fury, he hasn't needed it, he's wiped out everything he's touched. His zombies with the other Necromancer have turned a bit, and then in my turn I finally ground down all of the zombies, and I just shot out the rest of those the small unit of zombies with the necromancer. The important side of this all is throwing the screamers directly in front of that big unit. I do not want him charging my bloodletters. I'm quite happy for him to charge the screamers. He'll kill them, he'll overrun into the plague bearers, and then I can flank and dogpile and basically do what I do best there. He's of course in a bit of a bad way. He can't sit there forever and just hope I don't kill him. So he's on a hiding to nothing. Unfortunately, he's on a hiding to nothing led by a vamp lord that could just pull him out of the grief. So, an interesting one here, but I'm actually very happy with the way his entire army's been contained. I didn't think I'd deal with that many troops that easily. So I'm quite chuffed with that. So, his turn, unsurprisingly, he charges. He does manage to kill them. And then he's not interested in hitting the plague bearers, and fair enough, being flanked by bloodletters isn't fun. But he reforms to face the bloodletters and gets flanked and hit by a whole lot. And well, I'll let the next picture speak for itself. And so we dogpile him, and wow! So we have we have plague bearers in the flank. We have bloodletters in the front, we have fleshhounds in the front, we have one unit of flamers in the flank, we have another unit of flamers in the rear. Against skeletons, and a vampire lord, and a white king. So the vampire lord goes first, and I shit you not, kills 11 bloodletters. Doesn't blink, kills 11. I mean, we normally need chariots, monsters, plus a bit of luck to do that sort of damage. And it wasn't even like he was rolling particularly well. That's just what he does. So 11 bloodletters down to him. Leaves me with a champion and a banner. And the herald, I suppose. Of note is that I did manage to get the big version of Savage Beast off, which is putting a lot more hitting power in the hands of both the Nurgle and the Cornate Herald. His normal vamp manages to kill off the champion of, not the champion, the banner of the bloodletters, leaving just the champion, who swings at the same time as the White King and manages to killing blow him while dying. So tie into bloodletters, one White King. Kind of expected, but it's a harsh trade to accept, I won't lie. But then the rest just goes, and there's simply too much combat res. At the end of it all, it shouldn't surprise anyone. We've got 6 attacks from the Cornate Herald with Hatred. We've got 6 attacks from the Nurgle Herald, who uses his breath weapon as well. We've got all the attacks coming from the Hounds, and the Flamers really pulled out all the stops. They killed somewhere in the region of 13 or 14. They did very nicely in this turn. And he crumbled to death. So a complete tabling and a solid massacre in the way of towards the Daemons, and a very auspicious start with an army that I thought was hopeless. So very cool. Hope you enjoyed, and if you did, look out for the next game. Cheers.